Yep, you're not seeing things. This really is an Audemars. Okay, it's a little lady's pocket watch movement, and signed Audemars, as you can see, and I think that's Louis Audemars, which is a very, very famous name in Swiss watchmaking, and still hangs around today, with the huge brand Audemars PK, if you've got, or AP for short, if you've got a spare sort of 16,000 to sort of 50,000 euros burning a hole in your pocket, you can go and furnish yourself with a nice AP Royal Oak, or something like that. So this watch is, however, a lot more humble than that. As I say, it's a ladies' pocket watch movement, and really why I want to focus on it a little bit today is because of the really special type of escapement that it's got. So let's take a look at that. So I've turned the movement over, and a quick look at it, and it looks like pretty much any other standard little pocket watch movement, and indeed there were thousands of movements made like this, but it is a little bit different to many that you'll see, and that's because it doesn't have a palette fork. You can see here we've got the escapement, and you can just see here the escape wheel, okay, and this little jeweled hole at the bottom, that's not for a palette fork, that is for the balance staff, okay, so there is no palette fork, and these three holes here with this threaded hole in the middle, that's for locating the balance cock. So the balance sits right across here, and then the staff sits right across the escape wheel, and the staff itself has got like a small slot taken out of it, and that's how the escapement is achieved. Okay, so as the balance goes through its swing, this slot opens and closes and allows the passage of the escapement. It's like a cylinder escapement. So there we are. I just thought that was worth noting. Let's have a little close-up look at the balance staff just to show you that part of it, and then what we're going to do with this watch. It is, as I say, an Audemars. We're going to clean it up, so it's very beautiful, and service it, get it all working, and then put it in a modern case, because let's have a look at the diameter of this thing. It's very wristwatch size. Okay, so let's just take that roughly there. Okay, and then I don't know whether you can see this. Ooh, yeah, look, smaller than your, well, pretty standard actually for a wristwatch dial. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's just, before we do that, take a quick look at the balance staff, because it's got a great big chunk out of it, which is not normal. Okay, so the secret is not to jog the desk just before you start taking the shot there, but you can see the balance bouncing around on the hairspring there. It's probably even reacting a little bit to my voice, so I'll try not to talk too loudly, but you can see even at this magnification that chunk, that notch that is taken out the side of the balance staff itself. Okay, happily you can also see that this pretty old balance staff has the pivots intact, so that's really good news, because it's certainly beyond my skill to turn and notch out a balance staff like this. So I'm just going to increase the magnification on this, take a better look at it, and then we'll get on and actually do some work on this watch. So at this magnification you really can see how different the balance staff looks, and the extent, just how much metal has been taken away there. Okay, bearing in mind that the pivot is not much larger than thicker than a human hair, and this balance is doing all the work inside the watch, and it's got a great chunk of metal missing, and the precision with which this had to be made, because the escape wheel is flying through that notch many times a second. So there we are, impressively made. Don't know the exact age of it, but well over 100 years old. Always impressed with the way these guys made this stuff. Anyway, as you can see there, it's pretty filthy, although we are at a big magnification. So let's clean it up, let's regulate it, and bring this beautiful old watch with some real history back to life. This maybe isn't the best light to show the cleanliness of this watch, but this is the Louis Audemars small pocket watch, and I've just put it through the ultrasonic cleaner, and pretty delighted with the results. This light shows up absolutely every blemish, but in daylight this thing is really clean, and sort of kind of sparkly if you look at the stuff that's, I've got part of the train there and the barrel bridge. Yeah, really nice. So I'm going to start putting this back together now, and I'll show you when that's done. So we're quite far on now with putting this watch back together, and you can see this is a bit that I really enjoy, which is when you've just done the put the train back but the escapement isn't in. You can just put a little bit of power on the train, on the spring there, some just literally, you can see the click there with that beautiful old click spring. On a lot of modern watches you'll find that the click spring is a tiny little thing that if you're not careful and you don't put a bit of pegwood on it like I'm doing at the moment, it just pings across the room and you've lost it. This is the spring here, okay, that is keeping the click in place here, which as you wind the mainspring in the barrel, you can see that it stops it, engages and stops it from going back, which would, if there was an escapement on here, would keep the power in the spring, and then that power would be transmitted through the chain onto the escapement, which would regulate the release of that power. So but now we're at a position where we've put the train in but not the escapement, and just when you've done that and you can just literally put a little bit of power on the watch, and just watch that, the last wheel there, before the escape wheel, this one here, you know, start to spin around really nicely. Okay, all the jewels have been cleaned and lubricated. So we're going to put on the escapement now, which you'll remember is an escapement without a pallet fork. Okay, and then we'll see if we can get this 130-year-old watch ticking again. Let's have a go at that. So the escape wheel is back in, and with a bit of magnification now we can see what's going on. So yeah, just to emphasize the point that I made a moment ago, if I put the slightest bit of power on the power train, there you go, like that, it's off, right? It wants to go, there you go, especially if I turn it the right way. So just putting a little bit of tension on the spring, and it is off. Okay, and you can see the beautiful way that all those gears are moving now. They've been cleaned and lubricated, always using the correct Swiss lubrication, which is made so that it doesn't travel around the watch. It just stays and keeps frictionless the parts that need the lubrication. So yeah, just giving it a little, and that's great. Et voila, a original Louis Audemars ladies pocket watch with cylindrical escapement. Probably, I mean, definitely hasn't worked in decades, maybe not even worked for over 100 years. And we've taken it apart, and there is some satisfaction there now. Going to end this video here. Going to do another video on putting this beautiful watch in a case, because I got the movement from a guy in Italy as just a movement without a case. So we're going to have to source a case for it now, which is not completely straightforward because of the mechanism used to set the time on this watch. So, but there we are, massive success. Really chuffed with this. Just going to end with a close-up of the this interesting escapement working. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my videos, then please subscribe.